So the intercepts, as you know, there are two kinds of intercepts. They are the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts. As the name mentioned over there, is the x-intercepts is where the graph intercepts what axis? Whenever we say x-intercepts, we mean the graph intercepting the x-axis, not the horizontal axis, right? And whenever you say the y-intercept, that's where the graph is going to intercept the y-axis. We are okay with this? So now, let's see the property of these intercepts, right? So I'm going to focus on this graph first. This is a simple line. And as you can see here, there are two intercepts, right? So this is one point here, and this is the second point over there. Are we okay? So now, if I focus on the coordinates in here, what should be the coordinate of that point? It should be 0 and 2. So what do you want to label it? Do you want to label it x-intercept or y-intercept? Very good. Since it's intercepting the y-axis, this is going to be the y-intercept. So now, there is a property, as a matter of fact, here is linked together. If you say the y-intercept, there is a property is always the axis is going to be 0. Does make sense? And vice versa, the same way works for the other one. If I label this point here, what is going to be the coordinates? -3 and 0. And I want to label it the x-intercepts. And the property again is, if I'm looking for the x-intercepts, then which one is going to be 0? The y-axis. So let me write down the property a bit better. So if I'm looking for the x-intercepts here, this is equivalent, that y would be 0, right? And I can box it, right? I can put it as a formula right now. Yeah. Does that make sense? And the same way here, if I'm looking for the y-intercept, this is going to be equivalent. That which one is going to be 0? The other variable, right? You see, I say y-intercept, the other variable is 0, right? So this is going to be the x is going to be 0. And same way, this is my second property. So this is what I'm going to be using eventually later to label the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So far, so good? Okay. Now, I can do the same thing with a different graph. It doesn't have to be a line, by the way, right? It can be any graph, right? And here, if I'm looking for the intercepts, as you can see, there are 3 of them. All right? 2 of which are x-intercepts. And one of them is a y-intercept. By the way, let me please stress on one thing. Can you have 2 x-intercepts in the function? So if the graph represents a function, can you have 2 x-intercepts? Could you? I mean, this is a function or not? Maybe you don't know. How do you know it's a function or not? You learned it before, it's not. Do you remember the vertical line test? We're gonna go over it later on eventually, but this is, I guess, do you remember how do you determine is a function in the vertical line test? No? So what is a vertical line test? If I have a graph and I do any vertical line, intersect the graph only at most once, then the graph is a function, representing a function. However, if I have 2 points in the same vertical line, then that graph it cannot represent a function. Does it make sense? So obviously here, this is a graph that represents a function, right? Could be a function. Now, for any function, I could have many x-intercepts. I don't have a problem with the x-intercept. Which I do have a problem is, which one? Can I have 2 y-intercepts? I cannot have 2 y-intercepts. Why? Because if I had 2 y-intercepts on the same axis, on this y-axis, if I had 2 points here, the graph is not a function anymore. So for functions, you always have only one y-intercept at most. You cannot have more than one y-intercept. Okay. So I hope this is clear. The property is highlighted there, so you know how do you find the x-intercept and the y-intercept, right? So let's move on to practice. Yeah, although I don't have the question here, but eventually they are looking for the x-intercept or the y-intercepts, right? It doesn't matter if it's a function or not, but we are looking for the intercepts. So if I am in here, so what should be the intercept? The black one is not a graph, only the blue part. Very good. 0, 0. 0, 0 is 0, 0. That's the coordinate of the point, right? All right. What do you want to label? X-intercept or y-intercept? That's the intercept. 0, 0. That's the graph intercept. At the point 0, 0, is it intercepting the x's or the y's? Both. Very good. So thus it can be labeled as x-intercept, and at the same time is a y-intercept. We good? So yes, you could have it could be at the same time x-intercept and y-intercept if it is at the origin, right? 0, 0. All right, the next one. Okay, the point is 2 and 0, right? And is intercepting which one? Is the x-intercept. The following one. Since there are so many, let's label the x-intercept first. What are the coordinates of the x-intercepts here? So the two x-intercepts, they are this one and this one, right? They are on the x-axis. So if I want to write them down, they are 3, 0, that's 1 point. The other point is minus 1, 0, correct? We good? Now, if I am moving to the y-intercepts, and these 2 points here, the yellow shaded, they're going to be your y-intercepts. And there, you're going to be 1 point having 0, 2, and the other point is 0, minus 1, right? Okay. So far we know how to identify them on the graphs, right? And this is the property that we just talked about, it, the x-intercept. Thus you let the y equal 0 and solve for x. The y-intercept is you let x 0 and solve for y, right? It's the same property that we put in the box. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. All right, so I'm going to start with doing this on slow mode first, right? So I'm going to apply directly the properties, right? So if I'm looking for the x-intercept here, this is going to be equivalent that y is going to be 0. If I'm looking for the y-intercept, this is going to be equivalent that x is going to be 0, right? Okay. Now, the first thing is just to write down the equation, x minus 3y equals 6. And for this one, I'm obviously setting up y 0. So this is going to be a 0 here. All right. So I can write it down as x minus 3 times 0 equals 6. This is going to turn into x minus 0, which is x only, equals 6. And I'm solved already, automatically, right? So here, x 0, if I want to, well, it's not wrong whenever you say x 0 is the x-intercept, right? However, if you want to write it down as a point fashion way, what will be the coordinate of this point? We know 6 is x is 6, all right? What about the y? Do you remember the y we set at 0? Very good, so don't forget that, right? Now, I can do it on the other hand, same way. So I start with the equation x minus 3y equals 6. I start, obviously, with setting up the x by 0, which is this one is 0. Plug it in, that's going to be 0 minus 3y equals 6. This is going to turn into minus 3y is 6. And then I divide by, and it divides by minus 3, and this is going to turn into y equals 6 divided by minus 3. What's going to be? Negative 2. Very good. So y is going to be minus 2, or if you want to put it as a point, the coordinate would be obviously minus 2 in the y's. In the x, it's going to be 0, right? So far, so good. I'll get back to the plotting it in a moment. So now I'm going to do it with the fast method, right? So we clear about the x-intercept and the y-intercept, right? Any question? All right, so how can I do this one faster? So the point is, you know, the x-intercept and the y-intercept, for one of them, you're going to be 0 here, for the other one, 0 is going to be here, right? I don't even know which and which. Pretend you don't even know. You get confused sometimes. It happens. Are we okay? So now, what's going to happen here? If I'm going to do the first one, right? So which one is 0? X is 0, right? So what I'm going to do is, well, here I can erase it, but for you guys, whenever you're working on your notebook, you just put your finger on the X. So if you put your finger on the X, you don't see it anymore, right? Can you solve for the Y there? By the way, 6 here, right? So can you tell me what the Y there? I mean, you don't need any algebra there, right? So your finger on the X, you don't see the X, you see minus 3y equals 6. What might be the Y? Divide by minus 3, right? Yes? So there you go, you got it. So that's going to be, this is going to be negative 2. So let me do the steps again, right? I did not know which and which. I did not know. I don't really focus on which one I'm going to do, right? I'm just know that one of them is going to be 0 and another one is going to be 0 here, right? Since one is the x-intercept and the other one the y-intercept, right? So now, if I am in this case here, which one is the 0? Is it the x or the y? The x. So I'm going to use my finger and put my finger on the x. I don't see it anymore, the x. I see only minus 3y equals 6. Can you tell me what is the y? Obviously divide by minus 3, right? 6 divided by minus 3 is going to give you negative 2. So you're done. You go back and you put negative 2 here. So now on the other hand, I'm moving to the other one right now, right? So which one is 0? The y is 0, correct? So again, I'm going to use my finger, my thumb, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it on this. So basically, I'm erasing it with the sign, right? So what is left? X equals 6. Yes? That's all. You get these 2 points right now, right? Now what I'm going to do with these 2 points, I just have to plot them. All right? One of them is minus 2, 0 minus 2. So 0 minus 2, let's say, is over here. The other one, 0, 6. Let's say over here, 6. Those are the two x-intercept and the y-intercept. And since this is an equation of a line, by the way, are you able to graph it right now? Obviously, right? If you connect these 2 points, you're all set. Yeah, I usually miss it, but anyway, I miss it again. But you got it? So by knowing the x-intercept and knowing the y-intercept, you already know how to graph it. And this is the form, this is the form ax plus by equals to c. So this is what we call the general form of the equation, or the standard form of the equation, right? This is a standard form of a linear equation. And what is the best way to graph a linear equation in the standard form? How do you graph it, guys? No, we know it's a line, but how do you get to the line? How do you graph the line? By looking into the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So by knowing the x-intercept and the y-intercept, actually, is it a lot of work, the last method that I did it? Not at all, right? It's really straightforward. You got it? All right, so that's the first application. Probably we have one more application. Let's do one more here before going home, right? All right, so you want the fast way? Better? So the fast way is going to be put a 0 here, put a 0 here. So the first one is the x is 0. So which one is going to disappear? This one is gone, right? So what do you see? 2x equals to minus 4, right? So what's going to be the y? Negative 2. Everybody understand how do you get negative 2? If you're not sure how to do it, just write 2y equals to minus 4 divided by 2 divided by 2. The y is going to be minus 2, right? If you want to write it down, feel more comfortable. The next one is this whole thing is disappearing. So what do you see? X equals to negative 4. So this is minus 4 then. All right, so graphing it is what we got here. 0 minus 2. 0 on the x minus 2. Let's say this is a minus 2 here. And the other one minus 4. Let's say this is a minus 4, 0, right? And if I want to connect them together, again here, I don't know if I'm going to miss. Yeah, definitely I'm missing again. Yeah, it's very hard to on the tablet to do it, so I'm going to do this one like this. Yeah. Suppose minus 4 is over here, right? There you go. That's minus 4. Are we okay, guys, with this? Yes? All right, for example number 7, guys. So if I want to start by getting the x-intercept and the y-intercept, probably I want to first put it in the familiar format. So the only familiar format that we know is this one, ax plus by equals to c, correct? So what shall I do here in order to make it the same format? I have x minus 2y equal, x equals to minus 2y. So what you should do is basically you should take this and move it to the other side next to the x, right? So if you move it to the other side, what's going to happen to the sign? So change, very good, right? So every time I move one variable from one side to another, it would change the sign, right? So this one will become x, I didn't change it. Instead of minus 2y, it became 2 plus 2y, and this is going to be equals to 0. Are we okay with this? So right now I have it on the standard form, right? So this is x plus 2y equals to 0. And then I can do my 2 points. Well, it's gonna be a problem here, but I'm gonna show you how to go around it. So if this is 0 here, if x is 0, what's it gonna be? So I don't see the 0 here. What's it gonna be, the y? So do you notice I took the x away, right? So what will be the answer for the y? No. Basically, what you're going to do is you divide 2y divided by 2. 0 divided by 2, what is it? It's 0. Well, very good. So this is going to be a 0 then. So this is going to be a 0, 0 here, right? Are we okay with this? So if I do the same thing here, 0 on the y's. If I do 0 on the y, so which one is going to cancel out? The y is going to disappear. What's going to be the x? 0. Very good. Everybody comfortable with this? So I get 0, 0 here, which is the same point, right? So they are both 0, 0 is my x-intercept, at the same time is my y-intercept. So now the question is, are you able to graph it right away? And the answer obviously not, because I have how many points so far? Only one. I need 2 points, right? Does it make sense? Okay, great. So now what I'm going to do is basically the same thing that I've been doing. So if I put a 0 in the x, I will get a 0 on the y, right? You can do the same thing. You can pick up a number for the x and solve for the y, what's it going to be, right? For this purpose, I think this equation is easier. All right, so, and by the way, could you tell me what is easier here, to plug in the x or the y? In this form, in this equation. Very good. The y is easier to plug in. So the number, the one that having a number variable next to it, is always easier to select it. And then you're going to give you the answer for the x, right? So now what I'm going to do then, instead of putting the x here, I choose the x. It's easier to, for me, for example, what will happen if the y is 1? Does it make sense? Remember, your equation is x equals minus 2y, right? So which one is going to become a 1? This one is going to become a 1, right? So this is a 1 times minus 2. What's it going to be? Minus 2 times 1? Negative 2. And that's the value of the x. Does it make sense? So what I'm saying here, if y is equal to 1, the x should be equal to minus 2. Simple? So the next point that I'm looking for is a negative 2 then. 1 and negative 2, right? Okay, so we are ready to plot it. It could be any other number, right? So I'm just, you have infinite number of choices there actually. So let's plot the 2 points. So the first one is at the same time is the x-intercept and the y-intercept. That's going to be the center, the origin. And the other one is going to be minus 2, 1. So let's say this is minus 2 over here, 1 over here, and this point is going to be there, right? We good? All right, so then you connect the 2 points together. I hope I won't miss it. All right, so that's going to be the line, right? All right, so what we want to do first is we want to always write it down in this format, ax plus by equals to c. That's the standard form, right? So you can notice here that I have the x's, yes, but I don't have next to them the y's. So what do I need to do? I need to get this y's to this side, correct? And since the y's are positive, so that's going to turn into negative, right? So it going to become 3x minus 2y equals to 4. That's the only thing I'm going to change. And then I'm going to start with the 2 points, zeros. 1, 0 here, 1, 0 here. And if I have the 0 on the x's, so the x is going to disappear. I have minus 2y's equals to 4. I divide by minus 2, divide by minus 2. And then that's going to give me 4 divided by minus 2 is negative 2. So that's what I'm going to do, right? So that's the number I'm looking for. This is going to be negative 2. And I do the same thing with the y's. If y is 0, so this is going to disappear. 3x equals to 4. So I divide by 3 here, I divide by 3 here. So that's going to be 4 over 3. and that's the number I'm looking for. So it's gonna be 4/3 over here, right? And those are my 2 points. Are we okay? Now, graphing it is your x and y's, and the -2, I think there is no problem with this. 0 -2 is on the y-intercept and the -2 here. So now, what is 4/3? If you don't know what is 4/3, remember you can write it down 3/3 plus 1/3, right? So that's one way to do it. You get the multiple of 3's first. So that's 1, and 1/3 is 3, right? 3, 3, 3. So 1.33. Okay? Otherwise, think about money. Everybody, I mean, you might be probably bad in mathematics, but with money, probably you will get it. If you have $4 and divide by 3 people, how much everybody gonna get? You're gonna get $1 and some change, right? That's how you think about it, right? So you cannot make mistakes. So this is gonna be 4/3. Doesn't have to be. All right, and I'm all set, I guess. Just have to create the line. And that's all. All right, so the best way to figure out the equation of the vertical line or horizontal line is always the graphing method. Graph it, you will get the equation right away. All right, so let me demonstrate for you how to do this, right? So it's not really difficult. So obviously, by the way, I'm going to do both of them, A and B, right? So obviously here 2 minus 3, I guess everybody can do this. 2, let's say 2 over here, minus 3 over here. And the point that you're looking for is this point. Are we okay with this? Is it 2 minus 3? Seems like it, right? Everybody agree about 2 minus 3, right? All right. Now, if I want to do the vertical line going through the point 2 minus 3, so I'm going to just graph it. Vertical, right? Everybody know how to do the vertical line, right? Vertical, correct? So the vertical line, you're going to go like this, right? So yeah, I miss it again, but anyway, so let me do not miss it. Very good. So this is the vertical line. Everybody okay with this? Now, this vertical line, what axis does intersect? Obviously intersect this axis, right? Intersect the x-axis. Where? In that point, right? So that point, can you label it? Is 2, right? What is equals to 2? Is it y equals 2 or x equals 2? X equals to 2, correct? And you are all set. That's the equation of it. Do you understand it or not? X equals to 2 actually is an equation of the vertical line. It wasn't so difficult. You didn't have to do any algebra, you didn't do anything, right? So now, if I want to do the horizontal line, what I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to trade the horizontal line. This is my horizontal line. What axis does it intersect? The x or the y's? The y-axis, very good. And where? At this point, right? What's the label of that point? -3, what is it? Is y equals to -3. Very good. And that happens to be, again, the equation of the horizontal line. Simple. Graph it, and the graph is going to tell you what is the equation. All right. Do not use any other. I mean, even if I have an equation, I wouldn't use any other method, right? So let's do graph x equals to 2. It seems like I just did it. Okay, guys, so for this one, what you're gonna do is you have your x and y's, and they are asking you to graph x equals to 2, right? Suppose I did not figure out whether x equals to 2 is a vertical line or horizontal line. Suppose I did not know that. All right. So can you identify where is x equals to 2 in here? Obviously somewhere here, right? That's where x equals to 2. From that point, what makes more sense? Are you raising a vertical line or horizontal line? Obviously going to be the only option vertical, because if I do horizontal, the horizontal would be the y-axis, right? Or the x-axis, sorry. It cannot be the same axis as x and y, right? So that, unless if it is 0, by the way, but it's not 0, obviously. So the only thing that makes sense here is to raise a vertical line through that point. And that's it. That's all what you need to do, right? So this is what you're looking for. This is x equals to 2 equation. We good? For the next one, y equals to -3 is the same way, right? So what you're gonna do is so you're gonna label x and y's, and then you're gonna look for the y equals to -3. Where is the y -3, right? So y -3 is somewhere here, right? Let's say. And which one makes more sense for you? Are you going to go horizontally or vertically from there? Horizontally, very good. So this is going to be horizontal line, therefore, right? So, and you're all set. This is the equation of y equals to -3, right?